All right, guys, going home in the same or better shape than we came to work 3.0. So, still talking about workplace environment and culture. There's a lot of other things that impact that as well, other than what we've already talked about. And one is forced overtime. We have a lot of forced overtime, unfortunately, with the staffing issues, the retention and recruitment. Um, there are lots and lots of agencies who cannot run a shift without overtime. And of course, a lot of it's voluntary overtime, but when that's not enough, there's mandatory overtime. And some agencies are so short that they have lots of mandatory overtime. And you have people who are giving up the majority of their days off because they have to work overtime. They're not given a choice. And it's you either do it and keep the job, or you don't keep the job and then you don't know how to pay your bills. So that's a huge impact. And then the amount of hours too. Most of us don't even work 8 hours to begin with. We work 10, 12, 14 hours. And then how many times have we had to stay late? Despite there being rules in place that maybe say 16 hours is your maximum, how many people have stayed 16, 20, 24, 30 hours, depending on what's going on, to work? And then when you do that over and over and all of these things happen, you deal with the extra hours, you deal with the lack of days off, the lack of time for reset, the forced overtime. And then you see a disproportionate or a different application of the rules for different people. Some people are held to a higher standard and held accountable, and others aren't. There's a whole concept of rules for thee, but not me. So you have sometimes supervisors, managers who are giving out rules and telling the line staff what to do, but then those same rules don't apply to them. They get to do whatever they want, and the staff sees that. They know that, and that has a huge impact on morale too and people's mental health. And eventually, all of these things start adding up, and we end up losing a lot of people in the process, whether it's to different agencies or to the private sector, because they just can't take it anymore. There's plenty of people who leave after 10 or 15 years because they've just had enough. They can't take it until they get to the retirement age. They can't do the 20 or the 25. And then those of us who do make it to the 25, sometimes it takes a long time for us to realize that stuff had a huge impact on our mental health. And again, until we start figuring out how to deal with these issues and take better care of our people, we're going to still be asking that question of, are we sending our people home in the same or better shape than they came to work? More food for thought.